and welcome to Australian Gamers Friday Night Podcast. I'm Yug.
I'm Matt.
And tonight we're going to be talking about IGN coming to Australia,
We'll be discussing all things Krome
cracks appearing in DS Lights.
and some updates on the PS3, Xbox 360 and the Wii.
Stop saying it like that.
I like saying it like that.
We
It
have a
makes it more
special
fun.
guest on the podcast tonight. Welcome, Rob.
Hey
from
guys.
Krome.
And when we say special,
He's just going,
Yeah.
with his very, very deep voice. as
Hey
a matter of
baby.
fact.
Hey all the people out there in Cyberland.
hey,
That's pretty good.
You like
yeah,
that?
I was like, hey, sweet.
I just like it compared to Matt. It's like Rob's like, hey, and Matt's like, hey,
Hi,
sweet, hey everybody, hi, how you doing?
Don't.
Just tell us a little bit about who the hell you are, Rob.
Me. I work at Krome Studios in the Valley, and
No, it means like who you really are. Like
who
deep
I really am.
inside, like your soul. Bare your soul.
I'm an actor trying to get out of a shell that I cannot penetrate. No,
Stop talking about penetrating. Matt's looking
Yeah.
at you all funny.
Great, now I'm uncomfortable.
Anyway, keep going, yeah.
up against the wall.
What do you do at Krome?
What I do at Krome?
Or what are you supposed to do at Krome?
Supposed to look like I'm busy. No, I'm a technical artist at Krome.
Yep.
Which means I understand. I'm an artist at heart. I started off as an artist,
Uh-huh.
and I got into programming and developing tools for artists. So I understand all the technical sides of art and what needs to be done on the engine side, on the programming side. So I sort of communicate between the two.
There's a technical side to art. I thought you just like pissed on the cross or
Don't
something.
listen
and
to
then-
Matt. He doesn't do anything
No, that's
except
what
write
art was all
things.
You
about.
just play the games, you don't know how they're done.
Alright.
Yeah.
Just ignore me. No
Well,
one
I
should
mean,
listen
okay,
to me ever.
give us an example. Like, have you been working on the latest Spyro game at Krome, or
Yeah, the latest Spyro game.
what have you been doing on that?
I've been doing all the video conversions for that, so I double as a video editor as well.
Yep.
So I've done some video editing on past projects, so I had to cut down film footage. But this one I've done editing and conversion of all the cutscenes.
Cutscenes, right.
Yeah. And some of the cutscenes are comprised of in-game cutscenes that are mixed with graphics that are produced, designed by the guys downstairs in
Yep.
the Spyro room, and I put that together and make a nice
Make it all
video clip.
pretty.
Okay,
pretty.
just stepping back there.
Yeah.
The Spyro room.
Well, the Spyro room, we've sort of got.
Yeah, we went into the Spyro room.
Yeah, you've seen it.
It was
I
just,
just,
it's all
no, it's
people
just
who
the
are-
mental image that I have of the Spyro room.
We got a Spyro
Is it just
inflatable
this one
dragon.
room
you know?
with either the room is made of Spyro, or possibly Spyro flies around in the room. I don't know. I just have this image of just this one room
No, that's retarded.
with just a Spyro in it. No,
It's just the guys that work on Spyro living there.
What's it like working at Krome? Is it good?
Hey, wait! I wanted to ask
What?
another question.
What?
And it's less stupid. You know how you were saying some of the cutscenes are in game and some of them are rendered?
Yep.
Who makes that decision that this cutscene is important enough to be pre-rendered and this one isn't? I've always wondered why some games just kind of like, okay, this isn't pre-rendered.
Well, it depends on the flow of the game. I mean, if it's something which is you don't want to just jump out of what you're doing. So the flow of the game. So you're running down a corridor, and then some event happens. You would do that in game.
Yeah.
You can do it in game. If something happens which is monumental, something you can't do real time,
Something integral to the story, perhaps, maybe.
something difficult to do, or something immense that you probably couldn't do in game, then you would do it pre-rendered.
Right.
So.
Because it's often quite jarring, especially like there's some really good examples of things like Final Fantasy VII, where the characters that are pre-rendered look like a billion times better than so it is quite jarring to look at characters that are totally and utterly different to what you've been playing for the last 843 days. And
843, that's 2.5 years.
That's a long time.
That's pretty good for you, dude.
That's
I don't know whether you're right or not, but that was relatively quick.
I know, numerically,
We'll work that out.
I'm on the ball.
Yeah, I know, you're
That's
pretty close.
Yeah.
There were numbers and stuff in that.
I know, well, I've had a drink, so I'm feeling smart.
Okay.
He's smart now.
Feeling mathematically frisky.
Yeah, that's right. Not,
Dang.
well, just frisky.
Fair enough.
Cool. Alright. Anything else you want to say?
Oh, jeez. Oh,
I mean, because we're not really structured here. You need to realise this.
The question that was on the table before I decided to throw my own idiotic question onto the table, kind of over the top of it, overlapping a bit.
Yeah, you're good at that.
Next to it.
Keep going.
Was what's it like to work at Krome?
What's it like to work at Krome? Krome is pretty mad. It's a very relaxed environment. Every Friday we have drinks, which is beer o'clock. Yeah.
I just like that. That's the priority. Yeah, it's good because we get drinks.
Yeah. Beer equals good.
I mean, it's just like any other games company where it comes down to crunch time. You've got to put in the extra hours.
Yeah.
Well, okay. One last quick question before we actually get onto topics we said we were actually going to talk about. How'd you get into it?
We said all things Krome. We're covering that now.
Oh, wait, okay, all right. Well, how'd you get into Krome though? For all those people out there who are like, well, we're studying games and they come out with the unemployment lines. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. It started. I went to Quantum.
Yep.
And did the first games course there, and geez, I was up all night the night before the presentation, and I had no sleep for like, I don't know,
what
40
presentation
hours.
for what?
We had an industry night, and we had all these people come in from different companies like Aurun, and I think we had some Tantalus people and Taurus come in, Krome come in, and we showed off our stuff, and I decided to do some sort of cutscene in the middle of the night to show off people's stuff. Anyway, so we were really tired at this stage, and then did the presentation. There was champagne, dude. I got pissed, smashed.
So that's why you got the job.
And the Krome guys, I got a couple of cards from the other companies saying, submit your folio.
Yep.
And the Krome guys came up and they gave me an offer, and they said, "What do you think of this?" And I went, "Yeah," in my pissed manner. And that's how I started working at Krome.
So your actual job interview was theoretically while you were pissed.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'm curious what he actually agreed to now. It's like, $12,000 a year is like, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Couple of glasses of champagne, I'll do anything.
Yeah.
Not everything.
Don't point at me when you're saying that, man.
I was going to ask, in this gaming industry, there's a lot of people trying to get into it and blah blah blah. Is there a casting couch kind of system set up that you might be young, need the money, need the job? Is there a bit of jobs for jobs, if you know what I mean? Does that happen?
Dude, it doesn't happen in our industry. Jeez.
Jobs for jobs.
Jobs for jobs. I'm kind of proud of that. I came up with that just on the spot.
Woo! You did a job.
No more.
Because I work upstairs from the people at Creative Assembly, so I gotta say,
so
these are not.
You hear a lot of sounds, do you?
You do occasional jobs for them, do you?
No, it's just every now and then
You're in the HR division, are you?
Every now and then I hear like squeal like a piggy.
Right.
I'm not sure what that means.
How about that other story?
If anyone from Creative Assembly actually listens to this, why?
Why what? Squeal like a pig?
No. Why are you listening to this crap?
Yes. I'm just a little bit lost now. I'm a little disorientated.
Krome. So do we want to talk more about Krome, or do we want to move on to something else exciting?
Okay, just quickly. While we've actually got you here, Rob, because no one listens to this anyway, so don't worry about
We're just talking to ourselves.
Don't worry about actually telling us anything which you shouldn't actually tell us.
All the secrets.
All the NDAs, that kind of stuff. We're not even recording.
Andy what?
Look, me and Matt actually went into Krome a week or two ago, right?
A couple of weeks.
Yeah, and the article's actually going up online very, very soon, so you'll be able to read all about it there. But we found it interesting how they were really strict on places we couldn't go. You can't go into that room. If you go into that room, we couldn't let you leave, or we'd have to kill you. And we had to sign full on.
Yeah, we had to sign an NDA, which I thought was kind of funny, because the NDA was basically, come into our thing, have a look around, you may not speak of anything you see. And we're like,
that's kind of what we're here.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff you can speak about. You can talk about Spyro, and but you can't talk about
the game that could not be named.
That's right. Well, there's a couple of games can't.
Oh really?
Named, but
really?
What are they?
Oh shit! I've said too much.
Well, look, we know the game's coming out from Krome is Spyro.
Yep.
And the Hellboy game. Are you working on Hellboy at all?
No, I'm not working on Hellboy as such, but I'm working with the artists on Hellboy, so in their production line,
Is it looking good? Is it?
It is. I
mean,
the pictures that are out there at the moment are really, really old. They're really old.
Yep.
And they just keep on going around in circles, and every time we see it, we just go, they're really old pictures.
Because don't get me wrong, like when we first saw the Hellboy, like we saw a video at E3 sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, I mean, I like Hellboy. I like the movie. I like the concepts. I read the comics sort of thing. I'm a fan of the Hellboy concept. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
He's a boy from hell. What's not to like?
Yeah, I know. He's got a big
red right hand
thing. But I don't know. The movie I saw was a little bit basic sort of thing. Like it just seemed a little bit.
It was clearly a teaser. Like this is.
It was clearly a teaser sort of thing, and it was like, that's cool, but like I don't know what.
What else is going down?
Well, it didn't give really any impression of the actual game at all. It was just CG, so it didn't give you any impression.
It gave an impression of the actual character model sort of thing, or what the actual character looks like. Because, like Steve was saying, that
it could be a puzzle game where you have to match Hellboys of the same colour and four of them in a group. You're talking at the same time.
Stop it.
Well, if you would say something that was worth listening to, I would stop.
Get it together, guys.
Right.
You want this?
No. Alcohol.
Oh, you want more alcohol, right? Oh, hang on. Somewhere in here. Ooh.
Hey.
There we go.
All right.
No, yeah, Hellboy.
He gets a woody every time he hears that sound.
Yeah, Hellboy.
How do you know?
I watch.
You talk so much. Just go on.
What's a podcast? We can't do anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Anyway, no, go on.
Fair enough.
Please,
no,
continue with relevant. Continue.
Guest of the show.
Continue with the relevant topic, please.
See, what I find funny is he thinks he's special.
We're see you guys.
Go on.
No, I mean the stuff you saw was really early stuff. It's quite early stuff.
Yeah.
And since then, it's just skyrocketed, and the stuff that's being produced upstairs in the engine department, and what's been done on the game side, game assets, and the old stuff is just circling around. And
well, isn't that the fault of the PR company, or who's the?
Well, I mean, I guess the point is, yes, the old stuff is circulating around because that's all there is. Get us some new stuff, we'll circulate that.
Or more importantly, just give us some hope that not so much hope, but give us an idea that it's like it is actually shaping up to be really cool. Not you as a Krome employee, but you as like someone who plays.
Gamer. Are you a gamer?
Are you a gamer?
Oh, we don't really know your gaming habits. What do you game? When you game, how do you game?
Stop saying game.
Game. Game.
Stop it.
Oh dear.
Remember, you can't have game without gay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Ooh, yeah, I
That's on record. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, what do you play when you're not at Krome?
I do a lot of little fun games. I'm a fun game guy.
Yeah.
So oh jeez, what the hell?
No, no. This is not a homoerotic thing. I just like the.
I wasn't going there.
I just like the sound of that. I'm a fun game guy. I just like the sound of that.
Like what? Like what? Like Loco Roco on the PSP, so a fun game guy.
SingStar. I'm a real fan for SingStar.
Yep. Yeah, we love the SingStar.
I love the SingStar.
You know, there's SingStar Anthems is actually just about to be released.
Yeah, we've got every single SingStar at home, and we invite people around.
Yeah, man, it is the best. It's the best way.
Bonnie Tyler, Total Eclipse of the Heart,
to stand up and start, like, really get into it. You know, like
singing
you have
in front
a whole bunch
of
of people. Yeah. You have a whole bunch of people come around, and it's like all the good. You know, some people they're sitting back. Yeah, I'm just, As soon as you get them to sing at least one song, that's it. They're in party mode for the rest of the night.
Do you know
what I mean? Just breaks down barriers.
Make sure you set it to real easy so that everyone looks good.
I've never played on anything fast easy, dude. Mr. Rob, star of the musical sort of thing. I got no singing voice.
Do you reckon you could do the old bait and switch and you start off with SingStar and then when no one's looking you change it to like
Soul Calibur?
No, I'm thinking. I'm thinking like Carmen Electra's Strip to Get Fit. So all the girls are there. Well, all right, and
we may as well just keep going.
Keep going. We're on a roll.
Let's actually talk about some of the things we were actually planning to talk about.
Igen.
IGN is coming to us. Do you know much about this, Rob?
Or I'm just in the industry. I have no idea about IGN.
I don't know. Maybe you have no idea.
Maybe.
Well,
yeah, but just because you've heard of IGN doesn't mean that you're aware of the machinations within the company.
Look, IGN is opening up an Australian-specific version of their site, and I think they're actually going to be opening up offices here as well.
Yeah. And for anyone who doesn't know, because there are a few people who listen who are not that hardcore into gaming, but for example are fans of me.
And for all one of them.
Yeah, for that guy.
Being Matt himself.
Oh, it's a guy, is it?
Yes.
Right.
No, IGN is pretty much the biggest network in the United States.
Yeah.
Really. I'm not sure whether it's. I thought it stood for Imagine Games Network, but someone said something different.
I think
was something
international?
Different. No, it was like Ignation or.
Do we really care?
Anyway, something Games Network, and I believe they're now owned by News Limited.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah,
that's bought out by
the
News Limited
part, yeah.
end of last year or something like that.
So
Mr.
Murdoch
coming to an end.
Actually.
So pretty much all the major gaming sites now are owned by the same guy.
I've also heard a little rumour that GameSpot is actually coming to Australia as well.
GameSpot
is actually doing an Australian version as
well. Really?
Just on the lowdown there.
See, it's interesting to note that the gaming, portals, the gaming websites are taking Australia serious as a market. Now, could the developers and the suppliers please do
We
that?
see this is really interesting because I actually talked to a lot of the other people that run a lot of the other Australian-based websites, whether they're console specific or generic, and a lot of the opinion hasn't been negative. Hasn't been like, oh crap, they're going to come and take over the world and they're going to muscle us out. It's more a case of, well, thank God, because that means if these guys are here, finally maybe publishers and developers will start to take the online side of things a lot more seriously, which I think is fair enough. I mean, it was interesting, IGN was saying that 10 million of their visitors are actually from Australia.
And even though that's not a huge proportion of their actual market, 10 million is still...
more importantly, that's more than any other Australian website, gaming website actually gets as well.
Except us, Australian Gamer.
Oh, we get about 10 billion.
Yeah, we've got trillions. There are
takes
more
us ages to click on it ourselves, of course, but 1 trillion users. With my little pinky to my mouth.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing that on this particular radio show. That's really good.
I was explaining it. I did explain
the magic of radio.
Yeah. Any time you have to actually explain the gesture you're doing to make something funny, just don't.
Shut up.
He's a splitting image of Dr. Evil.
But except with hair.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
Shut up. But it's interesting because I thought about it. Now, tell me off the top of your head, what Australian website is there that's similar to IGN? What multi-console, multi-platform website is there? And the only one that comes to my mind, to be honest, and not that I'm trying to pimp out other websites or anything like that, is palgn.com.au. Tell me another one. I don't know.
There aren't many. There have been a few.
I think that someone actually on the forums, because MyGen, although they were complaining and bitching about that and saying they're not really blah blah blah. I don't know.
Yeah, someone mentioned, what about MyGen, and somebody else went. No.
I don't really...
Apparently what they do is they just take press releases and they post them.
Which I don't actually see
what's
what
we do, so I don't have a problem with that.
Well, we don't actually, and mainly because we're too lazy, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't see anything wrong with that. It's like, people get press releases because...
That's what they're for.
That's what it's for, yeah.
Or putting it out there sort of thing. But regardless, PLG is probably the main one. They seem to have a lot of unique content.
So they do things like post... those as content, like as reviews and as previews and stuff. And when Microsoft is sending you your preview for the game, that's probably you're treading on actually ground at that point.
And that's something you'll never find at AustralianGamer.com.
No, Microsoft don't like us enough to give us...
No.
No, we write all our content based on our own opinions and or made up opinions that
actually
we took from another
we did
website.
have a bit of a... it was interesting because we actually got sent... we do actually get sent games occasionally to actually review, and we got sent games from Ubisoft and EA.
Yeah.
And 2 of their particular games we actually gave really, really, really bad reviews.
Yeah.
And we were just sort of wondering, because we're fairly new to this particular side of it, are they going to stop sending us games now because we gave it a bad review or not?
I actually think, as far as I can tell, as far as I know, they don't actually that much care what you give it. They don't that much care about the actual content of the review. They just want it out there. They want Yeah, the coverage, the publicity,
So anyway,
placement.
what's your guys' thoughts on IGN in Australia? Do you care? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Or
I think it's a good thing for Australia. I think for us personally, and for our grand ambitions to take over the world, which we were planning for next Thursday. So hopefully we can squeeze it in.
I thought it was Wednesday. Are we?
I figured it'd probably
stretch
out a bit.
Right.
Like we'll still have stuff to finish off for the Thursday.
Aim for Tuesday, and if it goes over
that's
a bit,
that's a good idea.
Maybe
if it goes over
a bit, big effort on the weekend.
Fine.
Yep. For the weekend.
But yeah, like I mean, one of the things that's good about Australian Gamer is because there aren't that many things. Because PLGN is one of the few that's out there. Australian Gamer kind of has a bit of a nice coverage of what's happening.
We don't do every game, we just do occasional games, but at least we have a bit of a more personal spin to it. I don't want to pimp out Australian Gamer on our own podcast, man. This is sounding a bit gay now.
For a change. Why would we not pimp? Aren't we? Don't we do the podcast to pimp out Australian Gamer?
No, if people are listening to it, we don't need to pimp it out.
Many of them come searching through iTunes and are exposed to the miracle that is Australian Gamer and don't know how cool the site is.
Listen, one thing that I heard, I'm not going to say.
You're an abusive drunk, you know that, don't you?
Shut up! I'll smack you. I've done it before.
One thing.
In a womanly way, not a manly way.
Well, Matt was going to... Come on, you've got to say the story, because it's not in the Krome article.
What? Oh, when we went into Krome...
This is great.
We went to... I was taking photos of the Spyro room that was previously mentioned, and I was taking photos of the walls and blah, 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 and the other guys had walked on ahead. So I went to catch up with them, and nobody informed me that there was a step on the way to
just
where...
up to...
like on the staircase?
No.
You know where,
one
the
little
producer
step.
is? What's his name?
One little step, John Welsh.
What's the guy that does Angry Gamer?
Angry Gamer, that's Cameron.
Cameron.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yep. Cam.
Who was showing us around? Wasn't that Cameron?
It's Cameron.
That was Cameron showing us around. Who gave us the Spyro Dragon?
I think that was John Welsh.
John Welsh, that's it. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was the guy sitting there wearing this shirt.
Oh, that might be Don.
Don. What's Don do?
Don is good.
He's
assistant producer.
Right. Okay. I was just trying to get everyone's names right. I was getting it all confused. Cameron was cool. He was showing us around.
Is there any chance at all I can finish this story, or should I just let it die?
Yeah. Okay. Keep going. Yeah.
And action.
Anyway, that's the step. It was up to their room where Don and
little step.
John was. Yeah.
Half a foot.
Yeah. That's right. Little step.
It wasn't a big step. It was not a big step at all, and it caught me a wee bit by surprise. So on wandering up to say hello to everybody else. I cleverly caught it with the edge of my foot, and instead of stepping up it, I just kind of stepped through it, and half fell over, and instead of going, whoa, I went, ah! And made the girliest...
a lot more high-pitched than that.
I just did...
You end up eating some carpet. I
mean,
no, I didn't actually fall, but I made the girliest sound
scream
ever anyone's
I literally turned around because I thought that some girl was getting attacked or something like that.
It was
just Matt.
It was just Matt tripping over a little step.
It was just me being stupid. Like it wasn't. This is not the sort of noise I tend to make when I am alarmed.
Sure,
and don't even bother. But it was just highly embarrassing because I did not even think to just not sound like a schoolgirl.
Yep.
Normally I do. Normally I try to put about 90% of my concentration at any given point.
All right.
Is trying to be as unschoolgirlish as possible.
Moving on from Matt being a schoolgirl, one thing about IGN as well that I heard, especially with the big networks over in the States. Now, do you, from your insider knowledge working in the development industry and stuff like that, do you know, does it actually cost money to actually get reviews or listings or previews or features on the major game networks? Like IGN and GameSpot stuff? Because I've heard people say that, actually, if you want to get your game previewed on one of those networks, you've actually got to pay for it.
Yeah, that's a big problem in Australia in the publishing industry as well.
Well, is it?
Yeah, I was talking to Dan Toos the other day, who used to be the editor for Edge.
Oh, Edge, okay.
And when it was in Australia, and a couple of other things. I think I'm allowed to say this. I don't think this is an issue, but one of the reasons he left was because there was an awful lot of, all right, we'll fly you out to E3, and you can check out these games and these games and these games, and then they would get $5,000 worth of publicity for it. So he just didn't like the
buying. buying out.
Basically, it was buying content.
Do you know anything about this, Rob? Or?
No, I can only assume it's similar to like supermarkets where you've got to buy space.
Right.
Yeah.
They do it. You do it at game shops. Where you buy space.
Oh, really? I didn't realise that.
When you want to have it.
I assumed the game shop just figured, we want to sell a bunch of these, so we'll, the next Gran Turismo game's out, so we want a bunch of them, so we sell them.
It's just sort of weird, because, I mean, as a just a reader, as a gamer sort of thing, when you go to these big game sites, you just sort of assume that, well, they're covering this game because this game is coming out. Yeah. Or because they're actually taking the initiative to cover this game. Not sort of like the developers or publishers of this game have actually had to pay the website to actually put this article up that looks like it's, not paid for.
Well, it's not the case at Angry Gamer, is it?
Say again?
Angry Gamer is not the case. You guys just get the game and then you give it a review.
Yeah, could you do us a favour and not advertise someone else's website? Because we're not Angry Gamer.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Aren't we? No, we are Angry Gamers.
We are Angry Gamers, but we're not Angry Gamer.
Well, actually, it's interesting because one of the Angry Gamer guys is Cameron, who actually showed us around Krome.
Yeah, who works pretty cool.
So I'm saying that so that he can obviously pimp out our podcast on his podcast next time.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
All right. Well, look, we've got two other things that we need to cover, and we're running out of time.
Which is fairly minimal. Cracks appearing in the DS Lights. There's not much more to that than pretty much that. There's cracks appearing in some DS Lights.
That's cracks with an S. That's not crack. There's not actually drugs or cocaine.
They're not using them to smuggle.
Not using them to smuggle drugs across the Pacific. Unfortunately.
The Pacific.
I wonder how many of these cracks are appearing. Yeah, I mean, these guys, DS Lights and the DS, the series, is just... They're selling so many.
Yes.
So many.
More than the Xbox 360.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially in
Do you know what really amused me? I was listening to the Bloodhound Gang the other day, as I do. And
aren't you just cool?
There was this weird bit of singing where a guy suddenly out of nowhere starts singing. How do you tell someone that your hotcakes are selling very well? Which amused me greatly.
I'm sorry, what's that got to do with DS Lights?
I was going to say the DS Lights selling like hotcakes, and then I was reminded of that.
You should have said that first.
I think while you talk.
Right.
Because
because you don't like listening to me. We've heard this all before.
Yeah.
Cracks appearing in the DS Lights, it sounds to me like there's maybe one or two people who have
just
got cracks, and it's just completely
Nintendo reckon that the proportion is under 0.2% of DS Lights, which I think is still 800 million.
Significant, actually. That's actually still quite a bit.
Which is 800 million DSs, I think. They've sold reasonably well.
However many it is, actually, that's a lot more than I would have thought, to be honest.
Yeah.
That actually means it's a genuine manufacturing problem. That's not just something that's
well, you look at percentages, and it's all based on percentage.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, like when you had the PlayStation 2 launch, like the DVD player didn't work, and when the Xbox 360 launched, half the people had it breaking. There's always problems and stuff like that, so...
portables have their own little bits of problems. Screens, dead pixels. The PSP, the DS both have dead pixel issues. Alice, who bought her PSP, has an always-on pixel.
That's annoying.
There's a little tool you can get rid of that sort of stuff.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a flashing coloured video.
Really?
It just plays it. You've got to play it for ages. And
that gets rid of it.
It'll clear it.
Interesting.
Yeah, stuck pixels. Yeah.
Last thing that we wanted to just quickly touch on was updates for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Wii. There's a couple of little things that have come out lately, especially on the... Well, I mean, you got the Xbox 360. Microsoft have turned around and said, we have this new plan. We're going to sell 10 million units in the next 12 months.
Really? I did not hear that.
What
do you guys think?
How many have they sold?
10. Actually, they've sold
10 units.
10 units.
I think
I've got one. And
so there's 9 somewhere else in the world.
Well, 10 million. I mean, what's your thought on that? Like, is that
10
realistic?
10 million is a lot of people, but do you remember didn't they say something like that already? Like when they first launched it, didn't they say they were going to have 10 million units by like the next year, early the next year or something like that?
I don't know.
Because I remember they said some unreasonable amount of people were gonna have it, and they've fallen a few short, largely because of manufacturing shortages. But
I don't know actually.
They say.
I'm not quite that. I don't have that good a memory to actually remember back that far, or anywhere past about a week.
Yeah, no.
To be honest,
it's the alcohol.
I'm having trouble remembering what we were doing about 10 minutes ago, so I'm about to talk about Krome again. So,
so what's it like to work with now?
Well, the other one is the PlayStation 3, which there's a news story about something.
Oh God!
So they've started production.
They started production. That's
right.
The one,
yeah. They're actually making them now. The production runs they're doing are not full making them for you. They're not making them for us. They don't care about us. These are production runs that are being made for developers and for industry people and blah blah blah.
Actually, here's a question: have you guys got? I mean, you guys would obviously. I mean, Hellboy's coming out on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. You guys would obviously have PlayStation 3 development kits, right?
We do, and
can we play with them?
Not sure about that.
Can we take it home?
Definitely not. They're good heat. Provide a lot of heat at the moment.
Actually, okay. Here's a question: what's your attitude towards the 3 consoles?
The 3 consoles, jeez.
I mean, because you've got that actually developing for. You're working in a company that actually is working on games that take advantage of what each console has to offer.
Yeah,
well, not the Wii actually.
You must overhear the engine programmers going, "Wow, this PS3 is crap," or "Wow, I love working with this amazing hardware." Like, do you get feedback from?
Well, Xbox.
Or do they not speak?
They've actually got duct tape as they work, sort of thing.
I was just talking about the 3 different consoles.
Yep.
Xbox is pretty much Xbox 360 is pretty much like the Xbox with just a better video card.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
the same disc size.
It's just a newer PC, basically.
It's a newer version of it. I wouldn't really call it. This is my opinion.
Yep.
I wouldn't really call it a next gen console.
Mm-hmm.
Now we started fighting about this. I think the gloves are back on.
Gloves are back on. Fisticuffs ready to go.
The problem I have with that is who is to say where a generation starts and ends? How can you just say okay? Because it was always an issue with the Dreamcast, for example. Was that a next-gen console? Because it kind of slotted between the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2.
The Dreamcast, it sort of got to a point where no one really bought it anyway, unfortunately. So
no, but that doesn't matter. No one has to buy it. It's
cool.
a matter of where it fits in the hierarchy. And I think the problem that we have with defining something as a generation is that they don't all come out at the same time. Like if they released all 3 at the same time, they're a generation.
But I mean, with the Xbox, I wouldn't class as a next generation because the technology inside it is not that great a bigger step.
All right.
Like PS3,
it's
got multi SPUs in it, which gives you the ability to you can use one SPU to render your set. You can do software rendering with it. You can stream in high def video through one of the processors while doing all this other. You can dedicate certain processors to do certain things. That's why PS3 is a next gen because it has so much more power.
So what? Why do you define that as a next generation thing? Because it's always been an issue to me. Is not just defining a generation, but what makes something next gen? What actually, to you
just wait,
makes?
Before you actually answer that,
no.
This is something interesting though, because most developers out there and most people are actually. I mean, it seems like the 360 and the PS3, in terms of hardware specs and how good the games are looking, everyone's sort of giving it like a generally the same sort of level.
It's generally the same level because PS3 is its multi-processor capability is very new and it's still in production. So you won't see games
that take advantage of
it. Take advantage of all these SPUs. I mean, look at PS2 now.
Yeah.
Now you're getting some kick-ass games on PS2.
Yeah. That's a good point.
And you think about that, like compare Tekken and Tekken 3. Like by the end of a console's lifespan, it's got so much better.
Actually,
but particularly with the PlayStation 3, it is a whole other way it's a whole new way of working. And what I've heard is that the first generation of games that come out on both are going to look pretty similar. But as people get the hang of the new way of working, different ways of working, it is not a standard sort of setup. The PlayStation 2 will move ahead while the Xbox doesn't have as much sort of room for growth. They'll still get better. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, I personally think the 360's had quite a bit of a lead this time. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, $1,000 for like a PlayStation 3. That is pretty significant. That is like a big chunk of money.
Speaking of big chunks of money, and while we're still on the PlayStation 2, that's something we really should talk about. Have you heard about the
price drop of the PlayStation 2?
No.
I was just guessing. I don't know. I just
That
thought
was
that's
so
what you were
random.
going to say.
No, Sony in the UK and presumably in the rest of the world are enforcing a £150 deposit on a PlayStation 3. They're talking to retailers. They're in discussions with retailers to basically make it so that you can't pre-order one,
unless you put down a hefty deposit.
Unless you put down a £150 deposit, which I think works out to about $400.
Holy
US.
crap!
Wow.
Sorry, Australian. So
it's almost 50%.
Yeah. So basically, what they want they
yeah.
want to stop eBayers. They want to stop people from buying the console and putting it up. But still,
that's just mean.
It's arrogant. That's what it is. So it's fairly likely if they do that in the UK, they'll do that here too. So good luck, kiddies. Enjoy the bending over process.
I mean, up front, it's a big cost, and I mean it will come down, and I'm going to be surprised how they can fit all that PS3ness into whatever package they're going to have it
into the grill.
But
jeez, that thing is huge.
But to me, so much of that, awesome PS3ness is Blu-ray. And Blu-ray to me is dumb.
Yeah.
Because so much of the cost, so much of the development, so much of the delay, so much of the blah blah blah, is because of that Blu-ray. And I was reading something the other day talking about Blu-ray, talking about high def, and saying basically why it's crap. And they raised some pretty good points, which is that there's really not that much to offer most users in terms of actually having a TV that can watch a Blu-ray disc. For example.
Yeah, Sony's using Blu-ray as like copyright protection. And that's what I think it's used for.
But people will get around that eventually.
They'll get around it eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the same way that they're going to get around like the Xbox 360, modding the Xbox 360s and being able to play on Xbox Live sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's always a moving.
Anyway, to be completely honest, the main reason that I want a PlayStation 3 is SingStar. And to be able to download music whenever you want.
And Guitar Hero. Plug in Guitar Hero, SingStar, have it one package that has a drum kit machine, everything.
Yeah, see, for people that don't know, actually, Rob, if you look through our Supernova article, Rob was actually the one wearing the big black afro competing in the Guitar Hero
and
tournament.
Rocking Out from memory.
Yeah, that wig was huge.
You lost, though.
Well, I lost to an expert.
You lost. You're a loser. You lost.
Guitar Heroes was the winner, I think.
Alright, look, we've gone over time. We're going to wrap it up. Is there anything else that we need to talk about? Or
there was one thing, but I don't know what it was, which is that you said the Xbox 360 and the PS3 and the Wii. What were you talking about the Wii? Was there any actual news, or did you just want to fill in the...
I did want to fill it in, and because Rob was bitching before about it, it's just like a game. It's basically a GameCube. Yeah.
It's a GameCube, but it's got a bit more video memory and it's got peripherals. So, I mean, out of all the three consoles, I'd pick the Wii because it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun game.
Yep.
Console
and
to play
it's going to be cheap too.
Yeah.
They've got their head on straight, and games for the Wii are just going to be like, give it a week, and you'll be able to convert your GameCube engine to your Wii.
Why isn't Krome doing any Wii games?
I don't know. Yeah.
That's his way of saying they are, but he's not allowed to talk about them yet.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't know. Now it sounds like I am.
Yeah. So, you heard it here first. No.
Cool. Alright,
we're done.
Anything else? Are we done?
I think we're done.
You didn't want to say anything else? I mean, to the masses. I mean, I'm sure everyone at Krome is going to download this and listen to this.
We'll make sure they do.
One.
Every single one of them.
I'll make sure of it.
Is there anything you want to say to anyone?
I love you guys.
Actually, you know what you should do? You should pimp out your play.
Pimp out the musical I'm doing?
Yeah, because, you see, Rob wasn't just mucking around before when he said he plays SingStar on hard.
SingStar on hard, yeah. Currently in a musical, it's called Tribes of Avalon. It's playing at University of Queensland in the Cement Box. So it's playing from...
if you're in Brisbane, this is Australian Gamer, not Brisbane Gamer.
Yeah, if you're in Brisbane, then
or
come
if you're willing to come to Brisbane for good theatre.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was planning on them doing. Coming to Brisbane.
Of course. Yep.
To see it, we were playing from the 26th, a couple of days back, to the 5th
of August.
5th of August.
So get in now.
Except Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So yeah.
Cool.
You'll hear me sing and dance, and there'll be much frivolity.
And you can go backstage and abuse him.
Yay.
No heckling.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Rob, for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone else, for actually listening this far.
It's been a thing.
There are other people listening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alright, thanks, everyone.
See you later.
Bye.